Hi, I'm Nikki.
And I'm Brandon.
And you're watching
More Love with R and B.
Yes, and I'm Raya. And today we are doing an interview with my twin sister. We are going to do an interview with Brandon and Nikki about what it's like being married to a twin. All right, you guys ready?
Yes.
Ready.
First question.
Let's do it.
All right, Brandon.
Yes.
What did you think when you found out that I had a twin?
Honestly, I just wondered how she looked compared to you. Like, I've seen a ton of twins and they claim to be identical, but it's like there's easy ways to tell them apart. And so I was just curious how much she looked like you, because I had just met you
Right.
at the time.
Right.
But I do remember when I saw Nikki for the first time. As a matter of fact, she doesn't even know this. So this is going to be even more exciting.
Okay.
Actually, you might know. I think I told you this.
It's good to see.
So you and I met on a Monday, and then you told me about a VBS or something that was happening on a Wednesday. That was 2 days after meeting you.
Okay.
I show up to the church, and I am getting out of the car, and I see you and your brother walking across the street, and I'm like, "Oh, that's her." Wait, is that? She does. Is that her sister? Like, I could not tell if that was you or not. So because I am not one who often likes to look like a fool, I did not yell out, "Hey, how you?" I didn't do that. I just waited till I got inside. Come to find out,
It was me.
it was her. It was not you at all.
All right. Question for both of you, but I'll start with Nikki.
Okay.
What was your first impression of Brandon? Honesty.
Oh, yeah.
If you can remember it. It's so long ago.
I don't know if I remember my first impression of him specifically. It was just, who is this guy? How close are they? If they just met, why is he coming to our church? Like, really? Because I think you just introduced him as a friend.
Right.
Not as a guy. And so I was just like, is he needing a church home? Like, just a bunch of questions. But I don't think I necessarily formulated an opinion about him specifically. Yeah.
Brandon, what was your first impression of Nikki? Especially because you were able to compare the both of us.
I want to be very careful how I phrase this.
Just blunt.
Yes, this is honesty.
My first impression was that she, as well as others, were a united front in the cold shoulder, I think they call it, like the arm's length kind of feel.
That was your first impression?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. Because I think for me, like what she probably felt, which a lot of your other family members probably felt, was I was trying to connect, but it could have easily been considered you're just trying to get in because you're dating this girl or you want to date this girl. And I would have been the same way. But
I don't know if I knew that right away about you, though. I didn't, because y'all always introduced one another or talked about being friends. So I didn't know that you were trying to get in.
right. And so here's the thing: the cold shoulder. This is just my perspective. The cold shoulder could have just been, I just don't care, and I perceived it like, oh, they're being cold.
Okay.
It's like probably not.
I see what you're saying.
But my perception, especially based on the circumstance, was, okay, this is going to just take some time, which is fine. 'Cause I have no intentions of going anywhere. So, you learn that pretty quick there.
Alrighty. So, in the course of us dating and even in our marriage, have either one of you guys felt like the third wheel? Do you remember a situation where you felt like this is awkward because Sharaya and Nikki are vibing, or Sharaya and Brandon are vibing, and I feel like the third wheel?
I never felt that way.
Oh.
Did you feel that way?
No. Brandon was always accommodating and never made me feel like the third wheel at all.
Like putting my arm around you, like, man, go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, and if he did put his arm around you, there were times where he put his arm around me.
These are facts.
You know, or, you know, he would tell a joke to me and he'll tell a joke to you or whatever. They'll, like when we went to go to the flea market, there'll be times where just him and I would go, or if all three of us went, maybe we'll go somewhere and look at something while you're roaming and doing something, and then you'll give us time where we could hang out. So I never felt like the third wheel.
Yeah, I never felt like the third wheel with y'all, because I feel like y'all's connection isn't about keeping people out. It's just about the connection.
Yeah.
So it's like if there's 50 people, y'all are gonna be here. If it's just y'all are gonna be here.
Facts.
So
every fact.
It was never like this feeling of intentional whatever outside or anything where I would feel like a third wheel.
Oh, that's good to know.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So I've felt like a third wheel.
Yeah, that's about right.
No. Okay. Next question. Have either one of you, and I mean, I think you probably already answered this one, but you can decide. Have either one of you felt like I have chosen one of you over the other in certain situations? It's very tough when you and I have always had each other's back. You and I are married, and so now I have to have your back, and I want to have your back as well. Have you ever felt like she's choosing her, you know, her sister's word over mine, or she's choosing her husband's word over mine? Have you ever felt kind of at odds in that situation? It could have been when we dated. It could have been once. People want to know these things. So.
You want me to go?
Yeah.
Okay. I would not say that I felt like you were choosing her over me, like in the recent years. I would say you did have a strong allegiance to your family when I met you. And so, sure, there were times when you guys had plans. And I don't think I ever said anything, but you were like, yeah, we're going to the mall, we're going to do this, we're doing that. Mm. And then I was waiting for the invite, and it never came. So I was like, oh, well, I guess they're just doing a sister thing. But it wasn't like we never hung out. So that's why I was like, oh, yeah, cool. I mean, girl, I got all this other stuff I got to do. You know what I'm saying? I'm so busy. I would go with you guys, but I'm busy, so I'm just gonna. So yeah, there was those feelings in the beginning, but they were very small, very small.
I would say the exact same thing, because Brandon was always so inclusive on, you know, or including of me and coming to a lot of the things that y'all did. You know, when he would come over, and I didn't know that he was coming over. I was like, oh, what you doing over here? I'm like, oh. You know, we're going wherever. And I'm like, oh, let me go get my coat. You know?
It's like, actually,
it was just a, yeah,
I get it.
because I'm so used to being able to hang out, that it would sometimes feel a little weird but I never felt like you were choosing him,
right? You know,
over me.
It just happened to be a situation.
And then she would just run upstairs. I don't want to go anyway.
No, that's not me.
No, I'm kidding. That's not her. Not her. It's like, well, bye then.
Right.
So one event that I remember, one yearly event that I remember is the yearly event of October 1st, where I always want to spend my birthday in some type of capacity with my sister. And I've had this question asked to me a lot when I'm like, okay, I'm going to go see my sister. And it's like, oh, okay, when you coming back? The day after my birthday. And it like, Brandon doesn't get to spend the birthday with you? How does he feel about that?
Okay. So we need to put some stuff out on the. We need to go back.
Oh, okay.
We going back?
We're going to go. I know exactly where you're going back. Because you might going to bring it up.
I knew she was going to bring it up. I knew she was going to bring it up. I was like, you know what? I'm going to bring it up.
Talking about.
So let's just say a foundation was laid that should not have been laid.
Okay.
And this is my ignorance in not knowing what being in a relationship with a twin is like. So this was 2003, and I had thrown you.
And who got an invitation?
Oh, snap.
Oh, sorry. Wait.
All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm not really joking.
Y'all got y'all popcorn? Y'all ready?
Who got invitations?
Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on.
Okay.
So I threw you. Looking back, this is really bad. So let's just get this out. I threw you a surprise birthday party. A surprise birthday party at my grandparents' house. And I got a cake with your picture on it. Made for you. It tasted really good too, by the way. But that's neither here nor there. And so then I'm gonna cut it because I want you to also tell your side.
Okay.
But as you're asking me who got an invitation, so your whole family got it. Actually, that's not true. Your brother and you got invitations to this party. No?
No.
Your parents got an invite?
I didn't get an invite. I didn't know about the birthday party until after.
I didn't send you
No, I didn't know about it until people were posting about your birthday.
Whoops.
I had nothing to do with this.
So, I'm sorry.
And okay.
Okay.
I love Brandon. Like when they really like officially started dating and everything, and they're like, I never had, a problem, with Brandon, wanting to do things for my sister. And as a twin, and then also, having spouses or, whatever, I know that there are times that you want to do something specifically for that person. Mm-hmm. And when you have a twin, sometimes that person could not necessarily steal the limelight, but is also sharing in that limelight. Mm-hmm. If you had come to me and told me, I want to do this for her, and, I really want it to be focused on her, I would have no problem, like, pulling back. You know what I mean? I know twins, just in general, can get a lot of attention.
It's the twins.
Just because
right, yeah.
they're twins.
Yeah.
And people would feel uncomfortable maybe wishing her a happy birthday. And, but I would have no problem. I'd be like, happy birthday to you. And I wouldn't be like, me. No, I would have done that. Especially if you would have said, hey, I really, really want to focus on her. I would have no problems with that at all. I didn't get an invite. And so I looked online and everybody was wishing Sheree a happy birthday and they were posting photos. And I was like, I don't even know. So, and people were asking me where I was.
Oh, no.
And I was like, I didn't know anything about it. And I was trying not to shade you online but I didn't know.
So here's the thing. Something that she had shared with me in our time of getting to know each other. She was like, and it's funny because she never said it like from a complaining standpoint. It was just, how she talks. She was just talking. And she was like, she said two things. I've never had a surprise birthday party before. And my birthday is always celebrated with my sister. And I was like, oh.
But that was something that
I can fix that. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I always share my birthday with my sister.
Right. So it was definitely just a matter of perception. I was like, oh, I can fix that. I can take care of that for you.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay. For somebody who constantly says, I don't even know if you realize the tone in which you say it sometimes from a perception perspective, where you'll say like I've never had this or I've never had that, and you may be saying it just as a matter of fact, but it comes off like, oh,
I want someone
you want that, or it'd be nice if someone did that. And I'm trying to right, but I mean, you gotta also I'm a guy trying to get a girl too, right. So I'm like, okay, what is every guy trying to do in the dating scenario? What can I do to get a step closer? And I'm just sitting here waiting for you to say things. Oh, got it.
Yeah.
Now, does the logic of it make sense? Probably not in the moment, and didn't think it through a whole lot. But again, that was just,
So now that foundation was set, every year.
Oh my gosh.
When I'm like, okay, I'm leaving to go spend my birthday with my sister, how does that make you feel? Because a lot of people have come to me saying that they think it's weird that on the actual day I'm not with you?
Yeah.
Is that something that bothers you? Is that something that you don't care about? Like, as long as I celebrate sometime, like, be either before or after, it's fine? Or how do you feel?
So, honestly, it's tough because the kids know it's your birthday too. And so I'd say the first time you went to Georgia to spend time with your sister, on the day of your birthday, like, we all sat around and cried because it was a very difficult. I'm joking. I did.
Oh my God! I can't.
Got me. No, it's fine. It doesn't bother me at all. So no, I'll say this. The reason why it doesn't bother me in the slightest bit is because, Lord willing, we can celebrate 3 days before, 3 days after. Like, it's a day, especially after you're over like 21, 25. It really doesn't matter.
Right.
You're glad to just see that day. But I will say, the wisdom came from your mother. The plot thickens.
I know.
So right when we got engaged, and I think I told you this a couple days ago, your mother wanted to sit down and have a talk with me. And so she and I met at the library. And long story short, as it relates to this particular question, she told me about the bond that you two have. And she said, I believe that marriage is between you and your wife, and that is a God-ordained union. But as it pertains to these sisters and their bond as twins, instead of looking at a way to deepen your relationship with your wife and in a way that separates them, like, try to allow them to keep that, because that's going to bless you in turn. And she's like, you may not even understand that right now. And I didn't. But she was like, that's going to bless you in turn in your marriage, knowing that this is preserved. And so from that moment, before that, but definitely that day, it was like, oh, okay. So the surprise party was a bad idea. Now I got it. And now I was on the right track, that now everything I do, I would love to do for the both of you.
But how would you guys describe your relationship now?
We're like brother and sister, I think. Apart from you, I feel like regardless, if the worst of the worst of the worst should happen, whereas though if you were gone or if y'all relationship severed, I feel like unless he did something really bad to sever that relationship, I mean, I feel like him and I would have, our close relationship like we do. So, yeah, it's great.
That's good.
Yeah.
How do you feel?
I agree. I definitely see Nikki as a sister. And it's interesting because I am typically one to close off and put up walls. And most people might not know that, but she knows it. And I feel like she deals with me in that same regard, where it's like, look, I know you're putting up a wall right now, so whatever. And it's like, I'm not going to chase you. And it's like, but I want to be chased. Like, you're a man. You're a man. Get over it. I need you to grow a pair. And I can appreciate that. I can appreciate that kind of love. It's crazy because it's like dual forces, but that's my lot.
I mean, we have our own language. We understand one another. We can look at each other from across the room and know exactly what that person is thinking and bust out laughing. We have our disagreements, and we have our secrets that we share. I know that if I tell him something, he's not going to tell anyone. So, yeah, we have our own relationship apart from you.
That's good. Mm-hmm. What are the benefits, Brandon, of having a wife that has a twin?
Oh my gosh. Let me tell you something.
Okay, this is...
Okay, no. I know. It is actually extremely entertaining to me to go anywhere where people know you with her. I get the biggest kick out of it.
Yeah.
And it started, I don't think I realized how entertained I would be until the day after you gave birth, and well,
it was a week or so.
It was a week or so after you gave birth. I walked in with you, and everybody thought I was with her.
No, the other way around.
I was at home.
Yes.
Oh, you were at home,
and I
walked in with you.
Mm-hmm.
And people thought, oh, like why are you here? You know, it's like, well, this is. I get a huge kick out of that. I mean, even just yesterday, like I just love watching people. Wait.
Yeah,
it's extremely entertaining. I challenge any man married to a twin to tell me that stuff is not entertaining. Just watch people freak out.
Yeah,
like I can't. Like they really get all, you know. But I love it.
Plus, you also get the inside scoop. If you want to know how Sheree's going to respond to something before, you can just ask me.
That's true.
And I'm like, you better not do that. I'm going to tell you right now.
Oh yeah, that's a bad idea.
And then you don't have to worry about the adverse effects of whatever may happen.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. All right, you guys, last question. If you had to give advice to someone who was going to be in a relationship with a twin or about to get married to a twin, what would your advice be?
Who, me?
Either one of you. You being the twin, if you had to give advice to someone like, look, from a twin's perspective, this is that or whatever.
Marriage is hard. And when you have a twin and the twins are close, use that as an avenue to help out the relationship. Sometimes when you and your spouse are beefing, that person can't necessarily communicate what or why. And so if you go to the twin and accurately portray the situation, that twin can verbally say, this is why, when the other person is not capable of communicating. So that's what I would say. I wish that I had that in my marriage. Like, what are you thinking?
You wish your husband had a twin?
Yes. And I don't have anybody to be like, dummy, you can't do that. Or this is the way you have to say it.
Right.
And, and they're not in that negative headspace or, So that's what I would say. Like, I think being a twin is the best thing in the world. Not only for the twin, but for the people around them.
Absolutely. Brandon?
Advice for someone marrying a twin. I would say, first and foremost, I would give the same advice your mom gave to me.
Okay.
Is to continue to help strengthen and keep that bond close. I'm very aware, and I don't say this with any feeling of malice or anything, but I'm very aware that if I wanted to, I could request or desire distance. I could say, if I was that kind of person, I would say, I really appreciate the fact that y'all are close, but y'all are a little too close. And I want to be that close to you. Especially early on, I could say, I don't like how close y'all are, and we're still building. Granted, y'all know each other all your lives. But as we move into the whole leave and cleave, and, we need to develop, and we need to grow and get stronger. And you're like, oh, I talk to my sister every day, and she moved to Mars, and we still talk every day through light years of communication, or I don't know. I'm sure you'd find a way.
Yes.
But I could see that, and I could go, yeah, I'm not really feeling that, especially if you and I are ever in a season where we're really struggling.
Yeah.
And I know that you can have me walk in and be like, hey, Brandon, how's it going? But then the phone rings, oh, hey, baby, hi, sissy face.
That happens now.
Right.
Yeah.
That happens.
Right. And so I'm just saying, I could see that and feel some kind of way, and actually put efforts towards severing that, or trying to sever it, or at least distance it. And I just feel like that would probably be a bad idea. So, I like the idea of keeping you guys communicative and close as much as possible. You guys are still your own person, which is another thing I like. If y'all were exactly the same, then I'd probably just jump ship a long time ago. I'm like, oh, this isn't for me, please. And jumped off. But I like the fact that while y'all are extremely similar, you're actually very different in projection a lot. Like you guys process the same, you perceive the same, but you project differently. And I found great value in that. So
Facts.
I like to keep that.
Wait. Oh, I have something to add to that because there was actually advice that you gave me about my marriage. And one of the things that you told me is that you can't be everything to your spouse. And so sometimes, you know, there's, you know, something that you want to be and you're trying to get into that vein. And, you know, the twin is offering that help, you know. And so just not taking it personally that you can't get in that space, but the twin is. Eventually, hopefully it will come. But especially in the beginning, if your wife has a need and that need, or husband has a need and that need is being fulfilled by the twin, then they're good.
Right. That's true.
And so it took a little while for me to realize that, because there was a need that you were providing for me that I wanted my husband to provide for me, and it's like, Rick, you're being fulfilled. So why are you upset?
And he also can't be your twin sister.
Yeah.
He just cannot.
Exactly. You know, but as a twin, you know what it feels like to have a bond. And you're assuming that even though the bond with your spouse is going to be different, you're thinking that it's going to be as whole. Right from the start, and it's not going to be that way. I mean, it could take 20 years sometimes, and I hear people who've been married who are still learning, you know, a lot. So just because you know what it feels like to have a whole relationship with somebody doesn't necessarily mean that your spouse is going to provide that same thing right away. So
that's so true.
Yeah,
absolutely. Oh my goodness, you guys, I'm so grateful that my sister is here. And I have to say, from my perspective, I love seeing the bond that my sister has with my husband. It definitely helps me to know that my husband can go to my sister and have conversations, that they can talk, that my sister can go to my husband and have conversations. I love their relationship. I love the Three Musketeers that we have, and the fact that a lot of the big moments in our marriage that my sister, my best friend, was able to share that with us. Being in the delivery room with both my babies being born and just all those different things, like, it's definitely been a blessing. So I appreciate you guys for watching.
So we do want to thank you guys for watching. This is definitely probably one of the best videos we've done, one of the funnest videos we've done, especially the fact that y'all are cheesing back and forth. So yeah, we want to say that if you guys have any twin experiences and advice and whatever's,
comments,
throw them in the comment section. Questions. Oh gosh, because then we have to fly you out here for a part 2. Ooh, no, we can come down there.
Yes, you could come to Atlanta.
Oh, that's good.
Just stop. I will say that one of the funnest parts about these two is the laughter. It's hearty and it's loud. And it's no, don't muffle it now. Don't muffle it now. Let it out. Don't muffle it. And it's like I am a big proponent of laughter and comedy and fun, so I think that's another reason why I like to just keep this going.
Yeah.
Because I like to throw jokes and watch out. There it is. So, but yes, we hope you guys like this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did, and make sure you subscribe to the channel.
Yeah.
And if you like this, maybe we'll put some more videos up of these two having their shenanigans before she goes back home.
Yay!
And we'll see you guys later.
Bye.
Bye, guys.